I never expected to hear my husband whisper another woman's name in his sleep. Not after 15 years of marriage, not after everything I'd given up for him. But that night, that slip, that one careless moment, it cracked something inside me. I didn't scream. I didn't shake him awake. I didn't even move. I just lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to the storm outside, and realizing a different storm had already been living inside my home for years. He thought he was clever. He thought he was careful. He thought I'd never find out. But he had no idea who he was married to. By morning, I had one question in my mind. How long has he been lying to me? And by the end of that month, he would learn exactly what it feels like to be shut out, shut down, and left speechless, quietly, calmly, without me raising my voice even once. Because revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Let me take you back, because stories like this don't start with betrayal. They start with little things we ignore. My husband, Daniel, was charming. Too charming. The type who could walk into a room and make everyone feel seen. I used to admire it. Later, I realized that charm was a mask, a polished tool he used to get what he wanted. He worked in corporate finance, always dressed sharp, always talking about meeting targets, late nights in the office, client dinners. I never doubted him, not once, because that's what I thought marriage meant, trust without questioning. I was the opposite of him, calm, steady, the kind of woman who remembers birthdays, refills the pantry before it's empty, and holds the house together quietly in the background. People loved calling us the perfect couple. I guess people love illusions. But now, when I look back, the signs were everywhere. His phone suddenly needed a password for security reasons. He started taking his calls outside because the house was too noisy. He bought new shirts, new perfumes, new shoes, but all for work. He'd come home smiling at nothing, humming songs he never liked before. I ignored it, because love makes you blind and trust makes you deaf. That night, the night he said her name, something in me changed. Sophia. A soft whisper, a gentle sigh, like he was dreaming of peace, except the name wasn't mine. The next morning, he acted normal, making coffee, reading emails, texting someone with a smile he tried to hide. I watched him quietly, wondering if he even remembered saying it. I didn't ask, not yet. I wanted to know the truth without his polished lies getting in the way. So I started observing, and observing led to noticing, and noticing led to confirming. It didn't take long. One forgotten smartwatch on the counter, one message preview he didn't expect me to see. Last night was perfect. I can still feel your heartbeat. S. My hands didn't shake. My breath didn't break. I just stared at it. 7 years. That's what the messages revealed. 7 years. 7 years of lies while I packed his lunches, ironed his shirts, covered for him with his family, and carried the emotional weight of a marriage he'd already abandoned. But here's the thing about being betrayed quietly for so long. You learn to move quietly too. I didn't confront him immediately. People like Daniel don't confess. They deny until you hold their truth like a knife to their chest. So I dug deeper. Phone records, emails, receipts, travel logs. I wasn't snooping. I was gathering evidence, like a quiet detective living inside her own crime scene. Here's what I found. He took weekend work trips with her. He lied about overtime to spend evenings with her. He used joint savings, our savings, to buy her gifts. He even introduced her to his colleagues as the woman he truly loved. Imagine hearing that about your husband. Imagine breathing after that. But I did. You know why? Because anger didn't control me. Clarity did. And with clarity comes strategy. He thought he controlled the narrative. He thought I was clueless. He thought he'd built a perfect double life. But the best part of a double life? It only takes one quiet move to make the whole thing collapse. I didn't want a loud revenge. I didn't want screaming, throwing things, or dramatic confrontations. No, I wanted something better. For him to lose the one thing he valued most, control. So I made a plan, a clean, precise, step-by-step plan, all quiet, all legal, all devastating. Step 1, I gathered every piece of evidence and saved it in multiple places. Step 2, I met with a lawyer, privately, calmly, without a trace. Step 3, I created a timeline of his lies, financial misuse, and emotional abandonment. Step 4, I stayed normal. I cooked. I laughed. I acted like nothing was wrong, and that fooled him. The quieter I became, the bolder he felt. He thought he'd trained me to look away. He had no idea he was walking straight into a trap I built stitch by stitch. The real turning point wasn't the cheating, it was the day he mocked me. "You're too sensitive," he said, rolling his eyes when I asked why he was late again. "You imagine things. You need to trust me more. I'm working hard for us." For us. That word stabbed deeper than any affair ever could. So I changed the game. I stopped doing his laundry, stopped packing his meals, stopped asking about his day, stopped covering for him with his mother, stopped being the wife he depended on. Instead, I became a mirror, reflecting his selfishness right back at him. He noticed. Trust me, when a selfish man stops getting convenience, he panics. "What's wrong with you lately?" he asked one night. I smiled. "Nothing, Daniel. Absolutely nothing." And that scared him more than any accusation would have. It happened on a Sunday morning. We were sitting at the dining table, sunlight pouring across the room like a spotlight. He was reading emails. I was stirring my tea. "Daniel," I said softly. He looked up, surprised. I rarely initiated conversations by then. "I know about Sophia." He froze. It was almost funny, watching the color drain from his face, his shoulders stiffen, his breath stop. He tried to lie. Of course he did. "Who? What are you talking about?" "She's a colleague." "You always misunderstand things." I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I simply turned my tablet toward him, displaying every screenshot, every message, every email, every hotel receipt. Silence, paralyzing silence. He opened and closed his mouth like a man drowning in his own lies. Then I placed a second envelope on the table, thick, heavy, legal. "What is this?" he choked out. "My exit," I said quietly. Inside were divorce papers, detailed, clean, unshakable, with financial proof of his misuse of joint funds, enough to give me the upper hand in every negotiation. He looked like his world was collapsing. "Please, we can fix this," he begged. I didn't laugh. I didn't cry. I just said, "You had 7 years to fix this. I'm done." People think revenge needs noise, screaming, crying, chaos. Mine didn't. My revenge was silence. And silence destroys egos faster than anger ever could. Here's what happened after. His family found out because I showed them the truth. His promotion collapsed because the HR department reviewed his misconduct. His girlfriend left him because she didn't want a man exposed publicly. His colleagues distanced themselves because nobody respects a liar. Meanwhile, I moved out quietly, started a new job, found a new apartment with sunlight in every corner, started sleeping without fear or doubt. I wasn't broken. I wasn't lost. I wasn't the woman he thought he'd leave behind. I was finally free. People love saying, silence is weakness. They're wrong. Silence is focus. Silence is strategy. Silence is choosing yourself instead of fighting someone who never deserved your energy. Daniel learned that the hard way. And me? I learned something too. When someone lies to you for years, the loudest revenge is living a life they can't access anymore. Not with anger, not with chaos, but with quiet strength. Because sometimes the strongest voice is the one that stops speaking.